Shakur Stevenson gets the stoppage win in the 9th round over Josh Padley. And honestly, Josh Padley, you know, shout out to him. Like, everybody was giving him credit, but honestly, he got cooked. You know, the people were making a big narrative out of, you know, him being a ranked lightweight opponent, so he's legit. Some people were saying, you know, he gets, you know, an opportunity of a lifetime, which he did as an electrician, and that he's more credible than a guy like Floyd Schofield. I don't personally believe that. I think Kid Austin would have been a more exciting opponent just because he's young. People still call him a prospect. Even Oscar De La Hoya still called Kid Austin a prospect. But I think he's well respected in terms of, you know, he would have given Shakur a little bit of a better fight, maybe provided some more resistance. Definitely, in my opinion, wouldn't have gotten stopped by Shakur Stevenson. But you never know. You could say, what if this, what if that? But Shakur, you know, respect to Shakur Stevenson for getting the job done. He looked good. He looked sharp. Obviously, you know, through that body shot and hurt his hand once again. So that's just another moment where you're like, yeah, let's talk about that Tank fight. I don't know if he's going to be able to, you know, deal with Tank, because ultimately, you know, you can't be hurting your hand. You have to have both fists have to be 100% for Shakur Stevenson. And for me, you know, I would feel more comfortable for Shakur if he got into the ring with, you know, both hands 100%, especially if you're fighting a guy like Tank. You can't, you know, you can't afford any slip-ups against a guy like Tank. You know, you need to have everything going correctly. You know, your body has to be 100%, specifically your fists. You know, Shakur is a great counterpuncher. He likes to use his jab, that distance measurement. You know, he really likes to make use of his right hand, and you know, to not have both hands would be silly. You know, to go into a Tank fight and have an injured hand, you know, it's just not the smartest thing. I don't think Shakur should fight Tank yet. That's my opinion, because if I didn't see, you know, any sign of, you know, a grimace, or, you know, Shakur hit Padley to the body and then didn't, you know, grimace and make that face like, ah, my hand is hurt, then I would have more confidence in it. But, you know, you can't go from a guy like Josh Padley straight to a guy like Tank. I just feel like the disparity, and even as good as Shakur Stevenson is, I think going from a guy like Josh Padley and then going straight to Tank, the disparity in skill is too different in your opponents. It's too drastic for him to go from this guy, an electrician, to Tank Davis. You know, it's just different. And then let alone, you know, we're talking about his hands. He has a hurt hand. He clearly couldn't, you know, throw it the same way or throw it as hard in the fight, you know, after hurting it, touching Josh Padley to the body. And then you're going to go to Tank. I don't know about it. You know, he's been beefing with Frank Martin, and I think that's an interesting fight. I think that's a good fight for Shakur Stevenson. I think he needs one more fight in between to fight Tank. You know, I don't think Tank is the next fight. As much as I used to say that Shakur Stevenson and Tank is the fight to make, and it still is, after seeing Shakur still have a problem with his hand, it made me think he shouldn't go straight to Tank, especially after you're fighting a guy like Josh Padley, who's not anywhere near Tank's level, and you hurt your hand. You know, don't get me wrong, he looked great in the fight. I'm not saying that Shakur didn't look great in that fight. I'm saying that it's going to be a huge jump from Josh Padley to Tank. And Eddie Hearn said that he wants to make that Tank fight next for Shakur Stevenson. But if his hand is hurt, you know, I don't want Shakur fighting that guy, because then we're going to have excuses. We're going to have, my hand was hurt. I couldn't get, you know, the punches I wanted off. I couldn't defend myself as well because my hand was hurt. So we don't want that. So I prefer, you know, Shakur fights a guy like Frank Martin. You know, I think, in my opinion, even with a hurt hand, Frank Martin can't really beat Shakur Stevenson, but Tank is a different story. So I just feel like, as good as, you know, Shakur Stevenson is, and how badly I wanted to see that Tank fight, seeing Shakur hurt his hand, you know, made me think Tank can't be the next fight, because it's too risky. You know, it's too risky. You can't afford to lose a fight specifically because of a bad hand. Now, I'm not saying that Shakur beats Tank, because me personally, I picked Tank over Shakur Stevenson, but I think it's a close fight. You know, either way, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Shakur wins in a decision. Now, what would really surprise me is if Shakur stopped Tank or dropped Tank. But, you know, the likely outcome for me, in my opinion, is that Shakur's not going to have enough firepower to keep Tank off of him 12 rounds. As good as Shakur is, as tight as his defense is, I just don't think that he has the power to gain the respect from Tank, and that just leads to, you know, Tank getting too close, at least at one point in the fight, for him to end it all. So let me know down below what you guys think. Do you guys want to see Tank and Shakur next? I think, you know, Shakur has to figure out his hand injury and then go from there and decide, maybe take a Frank Martin fight and then take that Tank fight. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next NAS Boxing video. Peace.